Lately, I've been finding myself craving more simple breakfasts, meals, and recipes that are more similar to what I was making a few years ago. So that's what this video is about. It's a what I had for breakfast last week type of video featuring 6 wonderful, easy vegan recipes and sort of a highlight reel of what I did that week as well. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. On Sunday morning, I made these easy double tofu breakfast sandwiches. Let's start with the egg component, which is super easily meal prepped. All I'm doing is blending up silken tofu, chickpea flour, regular flour, salt, baking powder, turmeric, vinegar, garlic powder, olive oil, and oat milk. Just blending that until smooth. And then I'm transferring this mixture to a baking dish lined with parchment paper. And then bake this in the preheated oven. You might have noticed that I didn't put any black salt inside the batter, just because its flavor tends to disappear during baking. But if you sprinkle a pinch on top of the bake right before serving, you should be good. Anyway, next I'm preparing the fake bacon, which is just smoked tofu, thinly sliced and fried in some olive oil. If you wanted a more similar to actual bacon version of this, I will link my rice paper bacon in the description. But for a really simple breakfast, the crispy fried smoked tofu really does the trick. I'm putting everything on toasted English muffins, by the way. First, I'm spreading them with a bit of vegan butter and a little bit of chili crisp oil. And then I'm adding the baked tofu, on which again you could sprinkle some black salt for that egg flavor. Next I'm adding some of the fried tofu, some sliced vegan cheese, which I tried warming up in my non-stick skillet to give it a more melted look. It didn't really work this time. I don't know why. Maybe my temperature was too high, but it's okay. And then I'm adding a slice of tomato, a sprinkle of salt, some extra greens, and there we go. I ended up making 4 sandwiches all together, 2 for me and 2 for my friend Jordan, who's visiting. She's definitely become an integral part of the cinematic universe that is this YouTube channel. And she actually came up with the idea for this next recipe, this salted caramelized banana smoothie. It tastes just like the most delicious milkshake. First, I'm preheating a non-stick skillet with a bit of flavor neutral coconut oil, bringing that to medium/medium high heat. In the meantime, I am peeling and cutting my bananas lengthwise and then in half again. I'm pan frying all these pieces for around 3 minutes per side, or until they're golden brown and caramelized. Then I'm transferring the bananas to my blender, alongside another frozen banana, some light miso paste, vanilla protein powder, quick cooking oats, cashew butter, could also be almond butter, tiny bit of agave or maple syrup, a bunch of ice, some oat milk, and some sea salt. Something crucial is missing. And it's one of the most delicious things. It's rich, sweet, salty. Like, I was amazed by how good this was. That same day, I also made this lovely chocolate chip cranberry oat bake. Once again, I'm using my blender here, this time to create oat flour by just blending up some quick cooking oats until fine. Then I'm transferring that to my mixing bowl and adding baking powder and salt, giving that a quick mix. Next, I'm adding in the sugar, some unsweetened soy yogurt, rice vinegar, sunflower seed oil, also some oat milk, which I almost forgot. Now once you got a nice and smooth batter, mix in the cranberries and the semi-sweet chocolate chips. Transfer to a brownie pan lined with parchment paper. Smooth out the top and bake in a preheated oven for 30 to 35 minutes. I allowed this to cool off on the counter, and in the meantime, I went to the movies. It was anime week, and me and my friends watched Princess Mononoke, which I hadn't seen in a few years. I genuinely forgot just how dark and heavy this movie is. It's definitely not my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, but a really important watch at the same time.
Bitte in Fahrtrichtung rechts aussteigen.
On Tuesday morning, my friends and I took a train and a car to the countryside. And so that's what the 𝖼𝤧 was for.
It's different than doing it at 8.
So we stayed at my friend Lisa's parents' place, which looks just straight out of a picture book. There's a single cat roaming around, living what must be the luckiest cat life ever. And we got to spend a couple days there.
He's like, wait.
He's like, I'll get a better angle for you, girl.
Now on to Wednesday.
Talk about a future like we had a chance. Oh.
This is difficult. No, it's okay. I got it. Good morning. Hi. Wow. Right on cue. This is so nice. I'm spoiled.
We had whole wheat bread rolls with peanut butter and banana, and also the leftover 𝖼𝤧, on which we put blueberry yogurt.
Public solitude is the idea of like being able to be in public without performing. Like I think we all put on a little bit of something, even when we're just walking around in the street.
That day we went to the beach. We had leftover lemon pasta salad and listened to Lord's Solar Power album. It was absolutely magical. Thursday, we were still at the cottage and I decided to make pancakes for everyone. And I did eyeball the ingredients, which I usually don't do when it comes to baking. But yeah, so that was a bit risky. First, in a large mixing bowl, I'm combining all the dry ingredients. The flour, baking powder, salt, a little too much of that, dried vanilla, some sugar. And then for the wet ingredients, I decided to go for vegan sour cream, unsweetened applesauce, oat milk, and vinegar. I'm mixing everything until combined and slightly frothy. And then the most time-intensive part is, of course, cooking the pancakes. Definitely go for non-stick. The pan I used was a bit older, and so I had to add quite a lot of coconut oil to prevent anything from sticking. But it still worked out in the end. Friday was back to normal life, sadly. So I'm back in my kitchen and I'm making peanut curry beans on toast. First, I'm dicing up some tomato. I'm letting that cook for about 4 minutes. Next, I'm adding some minced garlic, red curry paste, giving that a quick mix before adding in the soy sauce, a bit of water as well, plus the second tomato, but you know, add the tomatoes at the same time. Now once everything has cooked down a bit, I'm adding natural peanut butter, a little bit of vinegar, and enough water to create somewhat of a sauce. Next, taste test, see how much salt you need, see if you want to add any extra spices. I also added a bit of agave syrup to balance out the flavors, and I gave everything another 2 to 3 minutes of simmering before adding in a can of white beans, giving that another 2 to 3. I threw in some basil last minute as well. And then I served this with the last slices of bread I was able to find in my kitchen. And so the toast to bean ratio was off, to say the least. But yeah, this was still super good. Very satisfying. That same day, I meal prepped some granola using my cookbook recipe as a guide, but then also improvising with what I had at home. First, in a large mixing bowl, I'm combining the dry ingredients. Quick cooking oats, rolled oats, coconut flakes, salt, cornstarch, sesame seeds, Now heat up all the wet ingredients inside a small saucepan, 1 mashed banana, vegan butter, peanut butter, agave syrup, a bit of brown sugar, and some vanilla. Give this 2 to 3 minutes until everything has melted together. Combine wet and dry. Lay everything out on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Flatten the mixture using wet hands. And then allow this to bake for about 20 minutes in the preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius. Take it out briefly, cut the sheet into bigger pieces. This is to allow the center pieces to cook better. At this point, you can also remove any pieces around the edges that you feel like are already crispy and dark. But yeah, give us another 8-ish minutes. And then finally, allow everything to cool and harden. I just let that sit overnight. Now, Saturday's breakfast was actually not granola, immediately at least. I had to be at the cinema at 10 a.m. to catch my friend Lisa's graduation film, which was absolutely stunning. So it was pretzels and popcorn for breakfast. And we also went thrifting that day. Did Jordan find something?
I think she said, I'm gonna go look at myself in the mirror. And I knew she meant like try on the clothes, but it's too funny. I'm gonna look at the mirror.
And you know what? The mirror.
Exactly, I was like, I'm looking at you too.
Yeah.
You got it.
So I was trying them in order of how expensive they were.
Oh.
So it was like, I went from the cheapest and onward. And so it's like, in theory, if I can be satisfied with one of these options, that'd be ideal, because this just gets more pricey as we go up. But I think the chocolate looks cute.
It's super cute. It is very Lisa coded.
Okay.
I'm very pro this one. Yeah, it's the only one I've seen. And
I feel like I'm still learning how to vlog. I don't think it's my strongest suit, but you know, I'm gonna get there. As always, all measurements, ingredients, recipe notes, and anything else I've referenced is gonna be linked or written out down below. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye! This video is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to help you grow and establish your brand and business online. Start by browsing their wide selection of beautiful website templates, or create your own from scratch if you prefer. Squarespace offers SEO tools in order for you to show up more often in people's search engines, helping you grow your audience and bring in new customers. You can do fundraisers on Squarespace as well by using their donation tools. You can generate passive income by offering content behind a paywall, and create your own new logo within Squarespace as well. If you need any extra help, they've got their 24/7 award-winning customer service at the ready. Start today. Go to squarespace.com/MinaRome or use code MinaRome to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.